A nice little conversation with a dead giant, please. He's been stuck in here for over 100 years. His jealous father stabbed him in the back. He'd like to come with us in Harshnag's pack, cut the head clear from his shoulders and set him free. Set him free. Set him free. Set him free. A little less conversation, decapitation it needs. He's been stuck in here for over 100 years. His jealous father stabbed him in the back. He'd like to come with us in Harshnag's pack, cut the head clear from the shoulders and set him free. Set him free. Set him free. Set him free. To cut a head clean off a giant is no easy task. Once it's done, the oracle 6 questions we can ask. We must think this through before we commit, or quit, we'll just ask any old shit. Adventure continues.
We find ourselves within the halls of the Oracle. You made your way here with Harshnag, and you discovered Igeron, the corpse of Igeron, who you decapitated and turned the ghost into I can't remember his name, but the skull from Trapdoor. So you now have that, which I believe is in Harshnag's bag. And yeah, so essentially you are in this room with the Oracle with the opportunity to ask some questions, to get some information as to what you want to do, where you want to go, answer some of the big questions that you've been pondering on for the last few weeks and months of travel as characters. Igeron, just to give you an idea of where everything's placed, Igeron's corpse was laying in basically almost the exact middle of the room. You moved his corpse, and underneath you saw some runes, which I believe Gregomel somehow translated into common, which I believe was like kingdom or something of that, something like that. And then there were words around the outside which said something along the lines of "Ask your questions and know your truth." Igeron explained to you that you had to step within the rune and ask your question when you were ready to ask. You have 6 questions that are free. You may pay for more, but you don't know how at the moment. And that's pretty much us up to speed. What do you want to do?
Do we just jump straight in and ask our first question?
I think so.
I can't remember the questions.
It's helpful that we haven't played in about 6 weeks, and I gave you plenty of opportunity. So if you don't know what the questions are, that is all on you.
All right, Greg's going to step forwards, and he's going to go, "Well, hello, big fella. I understand that we get to ask certain questions, and you will tell us the answers to them. We've been pondering many upon our quests, but one that seems to be repeating itself is obviously what the heck has happened to King Hecaton. He seems to be behind the ordering and the falling of it, but yet no one seems to know where he is. Could you perhaps tell us what happened to him?"
A few seconds pass, and eventually returning to you is a loud booming voice, which is spoken in Jotun, the language of the giants. And it says,
King Hecaton has been kidnapped.
I mean, that sort of opens up. With the problem with asking questions is often the answers to questions provoke yet more questions. So we asked one question there, and instantly that sort of requires 2 follow-up questions. But we don't just want to burn through questions like that, do we?
So what I will say is, for my part, I don't want you to have to, from a gameplay perspective and everything else, I don't want to necessarily have you just ask question after question after question. I will try and give you, where I feel that there is room to give you more information, I will. But I think you then need to think about how you ask those questions.
Yeah, strong.
Okay. Would someone
So that's one.
else
So
like
that's
to
one
next?
question down. And what I will say is, just as an addendum to that, as you do that, as that answer relays itself to you, you see one of the lanterns on the giants in the room splutters out. There were six giants, statues of giants in the room, each with a lantern. The hill giant holding a lantern. The lantern has now gone out. You have 5 lanterns left.
Greg
Obviously
goes up to the
representing your-
lantern and relights it.
How do you do so?
Wow. Wow.
I'm pretty sure I've got a cantrip which is like produce flame or something like that, surely. I've got firebolt, which is a cantrip.
Okay.
I'm
Did we just
firebolt.
did we just cheese our way to unlimited answers?
Seems
You can try it.
like it's possible. Seems pretty possible.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'm just going to attempt to make like a little fire, go onto it.
Okay. You shoot out your firebolt. Now, is that a spell or is that a
It's a
cantrip?
cantrip.
Cantrip. You shoot out your firebolt cantrip, and you see it hit the lantern right where there was a light previously. And for a couple of split seconds, it's lit, and then that just dissipates and disappears.
Oof. Worth a try though.
No, absolutely. Well, nice idea.
Yeah, very nice idea.
So you have 5 more questions. You
Okay.
currently know that Hecaton has been kidnapped.
Okay. How can the ordning be put back in place?
Presumably you've stepped into the
Yeah, sorry.
onto the
Wait,
thing,
wait,
yeah.
can we
What I would-
amend
what I'll
that
say
to
is
say
you
to
can-
its current state? So,
Yeah,
to its
if you
previous
if you want to ask questions of the oracle, you need to stand on this thing. I will say that if you are not stood on that, you can ask yourselves questions. I don't want to trick you into asking you just like going,
see,
"Oh, is that a
right.
good question, Dweezil?" Like you can talk amongst yourselves as long as you're not on that rune when you ask the question. You can ask each other questions. You can sort out any questions that you want to ask before you ask it. It's only step forward and know your truth, essentially. Okay.
Yeah,
So
lovely.
you're asking.
I am asking on the rune.
Okay, so you step onto the rune, and repeat that. What was the question? How did you restore the ordning?
How can the ordning be put back to its? What do you say, Mike?
previous state.
Previous state, and maybe we just need to add a qualifier to that. How can we restore the ordning to its previous state and stop the disorder and rampaging of the giants?
Okay. Short while passes, and then again you hear this booming voice in Jotun says,
You cannot restore the ordning. This can only be done by Anam the All-Father. However, finding King Hecaton and returning him to his throne would restore some balance to the giants.
Wow.
I mean, the next set of questions to me seems kind of we need to be pointed in the right direction, right? So we need to know where King Heckleton is. We know he's been kidnapped, but we don't know by whom or why.
the lantern held by the stone giant flickers out. The room around you is obviously still fairly well lit with 4 lanterns from these giants, but getting ever so darker with each time.
So do we want to ask who has King Hecaton and where are they holding him?
I feel
Is that-
that's the most sensible thing. At least then we've got direction of where we want to go next.
Yeah, I mean, does it have to be a different person? Does it? Someone that's already asked can ask.
We could
Do you
be
not want
cheeky.
does everyone not fancy a go? Do you know
If
what?
it-
Do you want
That's
to
the
go?
question next.
If it counts as one, if that would count as 2 questions, you could be cheeky and say, "Who owns the building that King
What if they?
Hecaton
What
is
if they?
currently
What
in?"
if they? What if they're not? What if they're not on the property? What if they're just renting it, and then we get the business address of the landlord and turn up at just some buy-to-let
Offices.
landlord offices? Yeah.
It's been Airbnb for like the last
Yeah.
month or something. Yeah.
Kirsty Allsop comes out the back. She's like, "Yeah,
So do we just ask?
I don't think that's 2 questions.
What is the question then? What?
Who has got King Hecaton and where are they holding him?
Or who and where is he being held?
Who's holding him? Who's holding him where?
Where,
Yeah, I think
where are
Who's
the
on-
people,
who's on first?
Where are the people that are holding King Hecaton?
No, because that could be like, is someone holding him in an embrace, or they holding his hand? You know,
I mean, if they're hugging him, I'm assuming that would answer a few questions.
Yeah.
are they holding him in their hearts,
Well-
like and just thinking about him?
Listen, it's not like the monkey's paw. It's not trying to trick us. It's
No, I'm not. I'm generally not going to trick you. If you don't ask the right question, I might not give you the right answer. But I'm not here to try and.
you get a try again token.
Yeah, I'm not going to. You have to ask the right questions. That's why we've got this in place, that you have to step on there. So you've got plenty of time to sound it out amongst yourselves. And when you step on that token and ask, when you step on that rune and ask, that is your question.
I think questions that contain the word "and" are
I think that's
Clearly.
So what's more important, who or where?
Where is
the
he?
where
I think
answer-
where.
And who's holding him?
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I think
thing
where
is-
would resolve a lot of stuff. Where we just get to him and then we find we find out the who.
Yeah.
Who?
The other way around is also true.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Who
If I
could
say
be...
Steve, Steve's got him.
Has Steve got him? Did we just like hack the system there and manage to sort of bamboozle Nate into an extra piece of information? Right, so we just asked where then. We know Steve's got him. Fine.
The thing is, guys, I think we've only metagaming. We've only come up with 4 questions, so we've got some wiggle room.
I think if we ask where, because he could be like the Red Shoelace Gang hideout. We'd be like, well, I think we know who's got him.
maybe
I think
we
where.
phrase it like, what is his current location?
I have to say, I didn't. Maybe I wasn't paying attention last time, but I don't have the Red Shoelace Gang in my notes.
They just to remind you, Quinch, they're in Splurgleton. you and Dweezil were there before.
Yeah, I remember that.
Could you ask, what is the condition of his kidnap? Because that could kind of cover location.
Oh, that's
who.
so vague, though. Like,
Yeah.
what's the condition of his kidnap? Rough.
Nearly new.
Is he slapped?
Mint in package.
I reckon we just bang out a where and see what we get back.
Do we know when he was kidnapped?
Yeah, Goaf could be onto something. Like he could say something like, "What happened? What happened from now? What happened
what are
from
the
the point he
detailed
was kidnapped
circumstances?
through to now?"
Yeah. What is the
detailed
timeline of
circumstan-
everything that happened to King Hecaton in the last 3 years?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be here a
Here's
while,
one
but we'll get
question.
all the answers.
I reckon what are the circumstances of King Hecaton's kidnap and subsequent
No,
capture?
there's an
I
and
don't
in
know.
there. You can't get an and in there.
No, but I think because the question is what are the circumstances of this and this isn't technically 2 questions.
I can just ask you, what are the circumstances of Hecaton's capture, particularly in relation to the following subheadings?
Dear sirs,
Yeah.
Subsection-
I just think ask where. Keep it simple.
If we're getting into like details about it, it's not going to be Krill asking that question.
I think we should try. I think we should try the. What are the circumstances?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're doing it.
Okay,
Do it.
fair. Someone do it. Someone step in.
God, Dweezil.
It's, the temptation is, I've been thinking, as soon as I get in the thing, she'll go, "You all right?" Right, I'll step into the room, push Quinch out of the way.
Stumbles.
What are the circumstances surrounding the kidnap of King Hecaton?
Give me a second. Let me think of how to answer this.
No.
Because
voice,
of how vague.
the voice says.
Yeah.
He's thinking how to fuck us over.
No. I'm trying to work out how to answer a question which is quite vague. in itself. You've been deliberately vague in your question to try and get as much information, and that's your right to do so. But would an oracle understand the context of what you mean by that? Because to me, if someone said to me, what was the circumstances of him being kidnapped? You're asking for the actual kidnap moment, so to speak.
Yeah, but we have to remember
rather than where he is or anything like that.
What we're asking is all knowing. So whereas you might ask a person that doesn't know too much, and they'd be very, but an all knowing would almost be able to provide endless information.
But it also wouldn't understand context.
So then add, with particular reference to the location of where he's being held and the people who are responsible.
Okay, fine, thank you. Few seconds pass.
Even from my eyes, King Hecaton's location is unknown. But his daughter, Princess Sarissa, believes she may have a clue to his whereabouts.
Right.
So when it says all knowing, what you actually mean is mostly knowing.
Is that the... right, quick, get Dabov into the rune.
No, I'm not asking him that.
Quinn
So in
steps
seriousness,
into the rune and asks why he calls himself the All-Knowing. No, he doesn't.
Roll me, Dabov, roll me an intelligence.
Ooh, unnatural 20.
Lovely. Dabov is a bright boy. Dabov would realise that if an all-knowing oracle like this is unable to see it, there's some powerful magic. There's something that is absolutely messing with its mojo. So it's not that it's not knowing; it's that something is particularly at hand, stopping King Hecaton being found.
Bit too powerful. We should just leave well enough alone.
Sorry, Nick. What was King Hecaton's daughter called again? Just for my notes.
Princess Sarissa.
Princess Sarissa. Close, very close. Princess Sarissa.
I wrote it down correctly, spoke it incorrectly.
And I also gave you a free answer there. That was an answer that you didn't have to ask the thing. So anyway, with that, the frost giant's lantern splutters out, leaving you with three. Halfway through, leaving you with 3 questions to be asked.
Can we, for one of our questions, just say, how do we keep these candles from going out when we ask a question?
No, it might not be a case of the candle going out is what removes a question. I mean, it's a marker, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the cause. So we have to sort of ask about how we go about getting more questions. I think we need way more information, and I think pursuit of additional questions would be good at this point. We did say in off-air discussions that we might not need additional questions, but I think it's safe to just try and establish how we.
You've got 3 questions left, right? And you do want to know how you can get more questions. So assuming you want to use one of those questions for that very purpose, that gives you 2 questions. So it's a case of, do you want to ask that as your next question?
Yeah.
Or do you want to risk 2 questions thinking that you might get all your information fit? You never know. You might get everything you want from that.
Okay, do we know where the princess is? Is that going to be a question?
I don't. Is Harshnag with us?
Harshnag he's basically outside the room, but he's listening sort of intently through the door. He said to you last time round that basically he was going to stay the other side of the door to make sure you guys didn't get trapped in, because he wasn't sure if there was a way out from the side you're on.
Right. Well, maybe we'd ask Nags first then. Harshnag, mate.
Yes, Dweezil.
The Oracle said something about Hecaton's daughter, Princess Sarissa. Do you know where? You got any idea where she might be, or before we ask the Oracle
that? It's a good question. I would not know her exact location, but I know that King Hecaton and his family live in Maelstrom. That is the name of their home. I've never been there, but I would shoot him. It is at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, that's a mission, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Dweezil. You're right. He was talking to me, yes.
Yeah, and
how's it going in there? It seems a bit dark from this side.
A bit dark.
darker.
He said that like that was a clue, like there was something.
No. As in he
Candles have
he's
been
sort of
going
half
out.
listening and sitting. The lanterns are going out, so he's just a bit like,
Oh right.
what's
Oh
going on?
okay. Yeah. Oh, I understand now. Sorry, that was lost on me. The reference there. Harsh.
I apologise.
Because obviously I'm on the other side of the door. So would we even know that the lanterns have gone out?
You're in the room. The lanterns are in the room you're in.
Where's Harshnag then?
Harshnag's in the main room.
Oh.
Harshnag's in the main room where you had the Anam with the whole statue and all that sort of stuff. He's in the main room. You are in the sub room with the Oracle.
Right.
And the lanterns that are going out are also in the Oracle room that you're in.
But I thought the statues of the giants were in the main room that's got the statue of Anna.
There are two sets of statues. You've got in the main room, you've got the statues of the gods. You've got the statues of Thrym and Strongmouse and Scoria Stonebones and all the others, right? In this room you're in, you've got generic hill giant, stone giant, frost giant, etc., etc. In the room you're in, the statues all hold a lantern, and with each of those questions you've asked, a lantern has gone out. Those statues also have underneath them a plate, a large offering plate on the floor.
All right. So essentially, it's going to be something of significant value, perhaps a gem.
No, I agree. It will be things of significant value. I don't think gems will work.
I think gems probably will. So start prizing them out.
No, I don't think.
Okay. Let's think about question 4 then.
Just
Hold on.
go plop a gold piece in an offering plate. See what happens.
You can do that.
I'm broke.
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'll go and plop a gold piece in the stone giant offering plate.
The stone giant offering plate.
Is that the one that's just gone out?
That was the second one that went out.
Yeah, that one.
That one. Okay. You walk over and you throw a little gold coin in there.
Don't patronise the gold piece.
You throw a huge. It's like the size of a frisbee.
Yeah.
Right. You don't even know how you've been storing it all this time. It's in the bag of holding. Let's say. You thrust this hefty coin upon the plate, near breaking it in half.
Wow.
And it disappears into nothingness.
Right, my thinking here is it like a sacrificial plate, and we've got to put Sebastian on it to sacrifice the goat to the god,
Oh, God,
and that's what his big role was in the whole of the thing.
I would swap him for half a question.
Not even a question.
Just ask like when. That's just all we ask.
Goat? Question mark.
Shall we put Sebastian on the plate? He disappears, and then we ask what Sebastian was for. In that order.
Oh, I kind of do want to know what Sebastian's for now.
Well, we
genuinely
have
want
got
to
that
ask
pegged. Yeah, we have got it pegged as a question.
I don't think we need to ask the why did Daboff come back question because
No one cares? No.
well, no, but I think do we not? I'm sort of assuming that it's due to the Warlock pact that I made. Is that not what? Is that not
Wow.
what brought Daboff back?
Wow.
That I made the pact with.
It's not all about you.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
But then there's still the guy with
Are you
the
still
starry
in
eye.
the room when you're saying this, Stuart? Yeah. Listen, I don't need to ask the question about why Dom was back. Am I right that I'm assuming?
He's looking at the head, hoping he gets like a free answer again.
Dweezil mused. Yeah.
Come on. Question 4. What we got? What we think?
Let's ask the Sebastian one.
Before Nathan said we don't have to ask all the questions in one go, and now he's come on, chop, get these questions out of the way.
Well, we're just straying into 6 men just chatting bullshit.
Yeah, it's only because we're far asking
I
around.
reckon we should ask why, like, how do we get more questions?
Yeah, I think we should do that while we've got enough questions.
Yeah, if we
to
do
work
more,
it out.
if we establish early on that
Okay.
we can get more questions, then we can just be like,
Okay.
cool, have at it with questions because
But
we
what
buy
if they
more.
turn around and they go 5G, and you go like $5,000? Like,
5G, Luke's struggling with that at the minute.
I'm lucky to get 3.
We need an entire barrel of internet to get one more question. Get churning again, Sam. Right, should we ask the question about questions then?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we know how important the next 2 questions are. If it's like, oh, I don't know, you just don't know, do a nice little dance, then it's like, fuck it,
Right.
ask him everything.
Krill, do you reckon we can trust you to ask a simple question like, how do we get more questions?
Yeah.
Right, Dweezil will vacate the room and point to Beck and
Answered
Krill
with-
to have a go.
Answered with all
This
the
is like when you
confidence.
send when you make a kid order their own food at the restaurant. No, go on, you be a big boy. You tell.
Speak
you
to the
tell
big man.
waiter, you tell the
He's gonna
master what you want.
He's going to ask why Rultazula doesn't love him anymore.
I swear to God, if he
pressure.
asks if his armour's ready, fucking hell.
Why armor takes so long?
Where is the nearest tattoo removal place?
Where's the local tattoo room near me? Right, come on.
Crow steps up.
Takes a swing.
Mr. Voice of questions. How do we earn or buy or acquire more questions to be answered?
Okay.
Please.
Please and thank you.
There is a suitable period of silence, and then the voice booms out in Jotun. It's worth remembering, obviously, some of you don't understand Jotun, so some of you are having to have this translated to you. But it booms out and says,
You must make an offering to the gods, using the plates before you.
and then it goes on. I'm not going to go into the voice, but you get this fairly long-winded explanation about how each of the giants, have their own place in the ordning and what is important to them and what they crave most. And the sacrifice is somewhat linked to that. So you would have to make a suitable offering to each of these. Not each of them, but you could make a offering to one of these and get 6 questions. So you only have to make one sacrifice, and then you get 6 questions again. But obviously, one offering per 6 questions. So for Hill Giant, you would have to make an offering of living flesh.
Oh boy, yeah, bye Sebastian.
So by that, it doesn't necessarily mean a full living creature by any means. You can, if you wish, carve off a piece of your own flesh and place it upon there. You would, as a sacrifice, lose 4 hit points permanently. There's no lesser restoration than that. You would just lose 4 hit points.
But what about we just chuck Sebastian on that whole thing?
Yeah, that would work. If you want to do that, that would actually work.
That is noted.
Stone giants, you would have to make a donation of a intricate stone carving.
Oh,
Mm.
we've got one, haven't we?
We
A
have.
dwarf.
Can we
His
just
name's Daboff.
I thought I'm sure we've got an intricate stone carving of a dwarf that Krill took from somewhere.
I've
I'm
got
sure.
the.
I'm sure.
It depends on whether that said character went, nah, I don't want this because it was in a coffin. I'm going to leave it here, which I'm fairly certain Krill did say.
I've got a chalupa statue.
Not stone though, is it?
No, it is, yeah.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Is it intricate?
Yeah, it's not true, but his Eldath statue is
Eldath, sorry.
a stone statue.
Oh yeah, but that was basically a bug anyway, wasn't it?
A bug.
It was the
Yeah,
thing that
sort of. It was a one-way radio.
yeah.
Which I guess most radios are. Frost Giant,
Why
be
are
a
we going out of order?
Hailstone, Frost, Fire, Cloud, Storm.
Is that a fire better than frost?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah. Frost and Fire are pretty close together. Like it's probably quite, Anyway, Frost Giant is a mighty weapon.
Right, just chuck
for for these purposes, a magic weapon.
Easy. That's easy as well because
and we got a +1 sword that no one's using.
I've got a random +1 rapier and a +1 longbow kicking around.
We've got so many. We're up to 18 questions extra. So
On
far.
that point, and I shouldn't really be telling you this. MJ could do with a +1 longbow. It would benefit him. Just so you know.
Would he? I thought he had one.
Sure,
no.
sure shots +1, isn't it?
No.
Sure shit.
Sure shit.
Yeah, I think
I
we
think
did discuss this off the pod. I discussed it with someone, whether that was Nate or collectively with you all.
I don't think it is. Anyway, fire, immaculate armor.
Fuck off.
Again,
Oh, Mr. Mosley's armor.
again, for the purposes of this, we are talking magic armor.
Ah, that's a shame.
Oh, oh no! I was just going to say I've got some +1 mithril scale mail, but I am wearing.
I'm wearing it.
Yeah, stick you on there.
Weasel lays down on the plate. Cloud giant. Now this is going to be somewhat open to interpretation, and I would need your work with me on this. Fine treasure.
Oh, yeah.
That would be open to interpretation. You can't get away with 1 gold piece or 1 small gem.
No,
there would have to be some element of sacrifice.
I've got Loriga's jewellery.
What about one of
that
Greg's
would
beans?
potentially work.
What about
Storm?
One of Greg's beans.
Yeah.
Because I've got them and I can replenish them, but I can only use them once a day.
I wouldn't call that treasure.
That's treasure to Greg. It's coffee.
I've got Loriga's jewellery, and I've also got one. I've still got 2 of the gold necklaces. One, me and Daboff both wear a gold necklace, and then I've still got.
I was going to say I've got the one
necklace.
from Dweezil.
Yeah,
which is the real treasure, our friendship.
Correct.
What I'll say is, unless you've got a specific item that you feel is it, we'll put it. Let's say to the tune of 1,000 gold pieces worth of treasure.
Yeah.
If you want to mash up a load of jewelry and shit together, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Storm, justice.
So
Interpret that however you will.
So poncy, like that's stupid.
But I'm hopeful that you've got 5 giants there that you can absolutely spam the hell out of should you need so.
Right. So I think we start with Sebastian, and then decide, and then go from there.
And find treasure.
No, we're not sacrificing Sebastian. The obvious ones are the intricate stone carving.
Yeah.
A couple of weapons.
Mighty well, we don't. I don't think we need another 18. So we've got the stuff. I said the first thing that we get rid of is the +1 rapier, because that gives us. That's not going to hurt us in any way. As much as Quinch will probably be happy to hand over his intricate stone carving, that is a statue of his deity. So it means it's got more meaning than just a random +1 weapon that we don't use anymore. Mm-hmm. I've got Lorica's jewellery was worth about 750, and then I've still got another gold necklace that is worth 250. So we've got 1,000 gold pieces worth of jewellery just kicking around. Although I'd rather maybe divvy up. We've got one more proper bros gold necklace for the Gold Necklace Club, and then like we can there's probably another couple of gold necklaces in Loriga's jewellery, but they won't be quite as cool. So we could all have necklaces.
I had forgotten about the gold necklaces bro team or whatever it's called. That you and Daboff joined in.
Stick one of the +1 weapons that isn't the bow on the thing, and let's just get through those.
We've still got another question left anyway, so
yeah,
you got two. You got two questions. So once the Oracle gave all that information, it's worth noting the 4th lantern went out, so you now just have Storm and Cloud are lit.
We've potentially got a quite hefty pool of questions, so we can just sort of jump in. I'm going to jump in and ask about Sebastian. Anyone mind if I ask?
No, go on. That's the Sebastian question.
How do we kill Sebastian?
It was prophesied. Give him the context first. It was prophesied that Sebastian was very important to our mission.
Do you want to just ask it?
No, you have a go. You did well with the last one. Try this time. Try fewer erms and use your manners without me prompting you.
Okay.
Thanks, Dad.
We once met a cloud giant called Zephyros.
This is don't do it as a limerick. Come on.
Who told us that Sebastian, and he points to where Sebastian would be. I'm assuming he's just. Where's Sebastian?
He's in Harshnag's bag.
Points is the goat that's in Harshnag's bag. Is he got a point? Is there a point to him? Or
I think we had established some.
Is it worth keeping him about? Has he got a greater purpose?
Someone told us not to trust Sebastian as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
yeah.
That was Tarhan.
Yeah, don't trust Sebastian.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't really ask, and why is he not trustworthy? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that ramble was you've met him. Is he worth keeping around?
Yeah. Krill.
I did tell you to ask questions the right way.
Manners, Krill.
Please and thank you.
Okay. There is a short silence, and then followed by the loud booming voice in Jotun saying,
Sebastian, if you are referring to the goat, would be a very helpful individual in the final fight to come.
I'm going to stop asking questions because I'm not very good at this.
So to that point, and I did say you basically asked, is he worth keeping around? Are we right to keep him around? You didn't ask why, you didn't ask anything like that. There was just very much a,
Fuck's sake.
it was very factual.
But the question you answered the question in that.
Yeah.
Affirmative, yes, Sebastian is important. He's some kind of MacGuffin, but we don't know what, and that's fine.
Okay. With that, the cloud giant lantern splutters out, and you are left with one solitary lantern lighting the room, being from the storm giant.
I reckon we top up before we run out.
Why?
Because if we get to 0 and it's all pitch black, something might happen.
Do the questions stack?
Let me just say that the part of the Oracle would have sort of essentially said that doesn't really happen. Essentially, it's a case of taking it back to 6. So if you were to do it now, you would only get 5 questions back rather than 6.
Oh, so you have to run out to get
basically, yeah.
The full
Okay,
back.
nice.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we only...
It's just so it can keep track of the lights, because if you just started spamming sacrifices in, like in the arcades, and you just got like lots of credits going, like it's not going to know how many questions you've asked.
So Quinch hops on the rune. Where is...
Should I leave?
Yeah, well, I don't mind.
Jumps on and says, "Krill, would you mind getting off, please?"
Was that a question that Krill asked in the circle? Should I leave? Yes, please.
You may stay, and then the final light goes. No, come on. So you push him, you kick him out of the way.
Where can we find Princess Sarissa?
Princess Sarissa no longer leaves her family home of Maelstrom under the sea.
Cool. So it just sort of affirmed what we already suspected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Harshnag just said that's where I would guess, because I don't know where she is. I've never spoken to the woman, sort of thing. You now know that she basically pretty much just lives under the sea. Under the sea. Princess Sarissa, she'll never leave you. Under the sea.
Right, so
let's for next week.
Let's put the +1 rapier on the Frost Giants collection plate.
Okay, so that last lantern goes out, and you are in darkness. But those of you with dark vision can obviously still see around. You put the +1 rapier on the where did you put it?
On the Frost Giants collection plate.
That does exactly the same thing that the token that the gold coin did. It completely disappears, but shortly thereafter, the 6, almost in a charging motion, you suddenly see the 6 lanterns all light back up again.
Nice.
You have another 6 questions.
Another delicious episode in the can. Thanks for listening. You can find us on social media. Maybe you could share your favourite moments with us. If you have any friends or family that you think would enjoy the antics of the circus, we'd appreciate it if you told them about our podcast. What is this voice? I don't know, but isn't it just so?
If you have any spare change, you can support us financially on Ko-fi. It is of paramount importance that you do so.
Open square bracket. Hi lads, here's the script for the outro I'm planning to record. I don't know how to end it, so let me know if you can think of anything witty to finish it at. Oh.